In today's video, I will be covering a company that is actually private, a company that I'm actually really pumped about, a company that will bring major changes to specific people's lives, and in further into development, it will change basically the whole world. And I am talking about the company called Neuralink, a company founded and owned by Elon Musk himself. Basically what Neuralink is and what they do is that they created a brain chip that will go into your head and change people's lives forever. Mainly focusing on people with disabilities right now. But as all companies that bring innovative and disruptive technology into the world, there's going to be major pushbacks along with thousands of questions. If you find any of that interesting or intriguing, I will take a deep dive, or at least as deep as I can get, into the company and bring up some questions that I may have or you may have that revolve the company. So let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody, or if you're new here, my name is Sean Lucas, and I usually make videos over public companies, and I go into depth over those public companies, and I find out all the possibilities of wherever that business may end up leading into the future, ending up into a statement regarding whether I think that company is a buy in my eyes. However, since Neuralink is actually a private company, that part of my video is not needed in this specific video. So in this video, we're going to be looking into some things we know, some things we don't know, some questions I have, some major pushbacks given by either the government or the public in general, wrapping up with whether this company could end up going public one day. Or I guess really, how can you invest into this company right now? So we're going to be starting off with things that we know about Neuralink. And just an FYI, this will probably be the longest part or longest section of the whole video. Just like I said in the intro of this video, this company Neuralink is building brain chips that help connect electrodes. And I think that's how you say it. It is said that electrodes reads and writes brain data, but Neuralink designed their brain chip to not only read, but also write the electrodes. And to the best of my knowledge, this would help out people who have either lost their vision or people who can't move certain limbs of their body anymore because their body has already done those movements or abilities. Their brain remembers what to do and how to send the message, but somewhere along the way, the message isn't being received. And again, to the best of my knowledge, the Neuralink brain chip will help make the connection between the, sending the message and receiving the message. So once again, the people who are affected by this, the people who have lost vision or ability to move body limbs, will be able to once again move those limbs or be able to see. Well, if you guys are normal, I assume that you are wondering at this point, how big is the size of this brain chip that will be put into your brain? And I just gotta say, that's fully warranted. And this photo right here is the exact photo used in Neuralink's launch event when they're describing the size of the chip itself. As for where it will be placed, I have read and seen photos of two places that it will be placed. And I'm not sure if it's correlated or if it's gonna be together in a sense, but I've seen it in the back of the ear, so back here, and I've seen it in the back middle of the head. But the chip is only one part of the, the combination of things. There's also wires that get placed / plugged, for lack of better words, into the brain of the affected area. The wires are actually thinner than an individual piece of hair, and you can see that right here. This is the photo that they used in their launch event. And they're so thin that top neurosurgeons couldn't actually place these wires in by themselves. Neuralink had to actually create a machine and a robot to precisely and repetitively put these wires in. Also, some other things that we know because Elon has said them on the JRE or Joe Rogan Experience podcast. Depending on how everything goes, in the best case scenario that Elon thinks, that the Neuralink brain chip technology can come to people with disabilities in 1 to 2 years, and for it to come to the masses, 5 to 10 years. Something that Joe and I thought was a little strange is that Elon said before the 5 to 10 year range, he said that, don't worry, it's not going to creep up on you. And then he went ahead and said it's going to be about 5 to 10 years, which Joe and I both thought, well, that's not that long, that's pretty soon. Other things we know about the brain chip is that it's going to be allowing us to hear frequencies that were previously impossible for us to hear. Honestly, I really don't know what the benefit to that is other than figuring out and understanding why a dog might be freaking out. But yeah, I guess it's cool. Along with that, the brain chip has been said to allow the human eye to see colors that we have not seen before. Again, I still don't know what the benefit to that is other than, bragging rights at the family barbecue. Other main things that I think will actually help out people, including myself, is that the brain chip is said to be able to regulate and control the hormones and emotions of the user. And I think this is huge for many reasons. It will, allow people who either say or do things that they necessarily don't want to say to actually think things through and think clearly about whatever situation they're in. And I honestly think that should be mandated for people who are in power, including but not limited to world leaders. Also on the podcast, Elon stated that, the brain chip can control limbs that the body may have lost touch with and emotions and hormones, but it also has the ability to cure things such as anxiety and depression and chemical imbalances. The brain chip will be able to pick up and understand when chemicals inside the brain are starting to get unbalanced and can release the correct chemicals to correctly combat that whole issue. With these few specialties or abilities with the Neuralink brain chip, I think those are the most important for the brain chip itself and Neuralink currently, And in short, if this was a "is it a buy" video, I would stop the video right here and say, yeah, I think if it does exactly what it's set out to do, it could really help out a lot of people in a lot of different situations and just make, I think, the world a better place. So yes, if this was a buy video, is it a buy video? I would say yes, it's a buy. But moving on. And if you guys follow Elon as much as I do, which some of you think I follow him a lot more than I actually do, we already know Elon's thoughts around AI. During Elon's first appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience, Elon stated this.
So you used to have more hope and you gave up some of it and now you don't worry as much about AI. You're like, this is just what it is.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes, yes. Yes, but no, it's not necessarily bad. It's definitely going to be outside of human control.
Not necessarily bad, right?
Yeah, it's not necessarily bad. It's just outside of human control. Now, the thing that's going to be tricky here is that it's going to be very tempting to use AI as a weapon. It's going to be very tempting. In fact, it will be used as a weapon. So the on-ramp to serious AI, the danger is going to be more humans using it against each other, I think, most likely. That'll be the danger.
And it has been stated by Elon that the people who are creating these AI technologies that are not understanding the full consequences that come around AI, there's only one way we can beat it. He said it's not actually beating because there's no way we can beat them at this point. There's only one way for ourselves to put our best foot forward, and that is to insert the Neuralink chip or other brain chip technologies into your head. The way that Elon talks about it and brings up the argument is that when people get weirded out about the Neuralink technology, the brain chip technologies, that people already have AI with us. People have cell phones every single day. It's attached to the hip. It's attached to our hand. You never go to, you get a sense of absence when it's not with you. The way he said it on the podcast is that when it's not with you at a dinner or a meeting, or you get like missing limb syndrome. And to an extent, that's 100% true. People get, weirded out when they don't have it for a certain amount of time. What's the difference between having it on you in your pocket than having it inside your head? And he talks about how, we're already cyborgs. We already have a little bit of technology connected to us. So, and lastly, the probably the best option that Neuralink had made available for people that get the Neuralink brain chip inserted into their heads is the ability to actually reverse it. If you end up not liking the brain chip, or you end up changing your mind down the road, and you actually, for the people that have disabilities and they don't mind and they would rather go back, then the brain chip can be removed and you could go back to your previous normal, which I think is an absolute must for this innovative tech. I can definitely see, people getting the innovative tech, the brain chip inserted, and actually get freaked out and want it gone as soon as possible. So I think that's actually really good looking out for Neuralink on Neuralink's end. So moving on. And as for things we don't know or questions I might have, those two kind of intertwine into one group. And well, technically that list could go on and on and on forever until we start seeing more physical products and testing and things like that. But as of right now, one of the main things I have as a concern is how safe it is. Not as a procedure, because I think everybody knows as an elective procedure how they come with risks. but how safe is the tech inside the brain? So everyone knows how easy it is to get a virus on a computer or get their Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram hacked. So couldn't technically a hacker hack into the brain chip? And in doing so, would they be able to steal thoughts and private information like their social security number and bank account information and have access to control the user's limbs? And since the technology is so new and I'm not even a fraction as smart as the people that work at Neuralink, it leads to other questions such as this. Will there be a possibility for the brain chip to download certain chemicals or programs that could help combat infectious diseases and inherently viruses? For things such as, the coronavirus that we're facing right now, that would be huge if we all had this Neuralink. We would just be able to, for, a flip of a button, be able to download the next program, like an update, and be able to fight off whatever pandemic we would be facing. Hopefully we don't face another one. And another question that I found on the internet that I thought was actually a really well thought out question is that, like social media apps, how they give you the app for free and, you're allowed to do whatever you want to an extent, it's all for free. You're giving them your data for free so they can, curate products around your specific needs or interests. Would Neuralink or the people at Neuralink be able to collect your data through your brain and sort of use it to better suit your needs? And I think the most obvious question or worries is that since the tech is so new, we really don't know what the long-term effects of this tech would be either inside the brain. Would your body reject it? What happens if your body rejects it? Things like that. If your body becomes too reliant on the brain chip, does other specific parts of your brain start to shut off? Just a few questions. As for possible pushbacks by either the government or people in the public, I think there will be pushbacks from people in the government and people in the public. I assume the pushback from the government would be trying to get, FDA or ADA approved. I'm not really sure which approval system they need to go through, but I assume whichever one they have to go through would be difficult. And for the whole public side, I assume that the whole public would be a little uneasy at first, as many people are to new systems and technology. And I think it would take a while for people to understand how safe the chip is and understand and factor in the risk to reward ratio. Especially for people with disabilities, that if the Neuralink brain chip works exactly as planned, people that have disabilities, I see they have nothing to lose. That's sort of my thought on it. And of course, years down the road, if everything goes to plan, there would absolutely 100% be that group of people that just absolutely hate it and try to get it banned and never end up, moving to the Neuralink brain chip. I just feel like there's always a group of people that do that with every situation. Moving on to the possibility of going public. In short, currently, I don't think there'll be any chance for Neuralink to go public anytime soon. Since they're private, they have so many questions to face right now, not even to mention all the risks that come with it, including the procedure and the effectiveness and the safetiness of the chip itself. However, and I'm not saying this is true or that people do this, but I could see this as a possibility of people that have already done this. But just like I said in a couple videos ago, how people correlate companies in the same industry and the stock price of those companies that they correlate could move in, they're relatively the same price range, and they reflect each other. Well, people could be factoring some of Elon's private companies into Tesla's stock price because that's the only way to be a part of Neuralink right now. Even though the two companies would have zero correlation to each other, they'd have completely separate income statements and balance statements and this, that, and the other thing. It's nothing. It's not. I don't even know how to explain how they're not the same. If one goes bankrupt, the other one wouldn't go bankrupt. There, I said it. So people might be correlating one company that is private to one company that is public, and I'm not the only one that has worried about this issue. But it is something that you have to factor in when looking at Tesla's stock price. As for now, the only ways I can see how you can invest into Neuralink is to find out companies that work with Neuralink, companies that have big contracts with Neuralink. However, I think that's going to be hard to do considering that they manufacture everything in-house. So, I don't know. That's the only way I see you could be able to invest into this private company, other than the fact that them, going public. Obviously, this video is very different from my regular stock market videos, well, because this company isn't publicly traded yet. But I am very excited about this company, and I hope I have enough money when the time comes that the brain chip is allowed for the the general public. I feel like I want to be one of the first people to get it. If you guys would like to learn more about Neuralink and the brain chip itself, I highly suggest you watch the launch event video that came out last year. It's about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes long. They will be able to explain everything way better than I can because they're actually smart. And I will put that link in the description below, or it will pop up right here. So go ahead and watch that. I also highly suggest you guys start watching the videos or the podcast with Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, either the first one and the second one or both. They're both very good. And the second one is they mainly talk about the Neuralink. So if you're interested about that, go ahead and watch the second one. Other than that, guys, there will be a public company, a regular stock market video that goes up on Sunday, so stay tuned for that because this video was very different, and I understand if this wasn't your cup of tea. So until next time, guys, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace!